Hello, 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 my loves. As always, I hope that this live or this replay finds you well and in excellent spirits. Happy Monday, and welcome to another edition of the weekly Astro Forecast live here in the Astro Room on YouTube. I am your host and your favorite astrologer, Mel of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. So if this is our first time meeting, welcome. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. So this channel is everything astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, or if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. All right, my loves. So this is the weekly astro forecast for the week of October 27th through November 2nd, 2025. All right, so how are we feeling tonight? How are we starting our week? Um, let's see. I want to say that for me, the energy feels very on purpose. And what I mean by on purpose is like there's a clear plan, there's a clear trajectory, and now the only thing to do is to go, is to move, and is to act. And that's very much the energy for this week. If I had to sum up the energy for this week, or at least one of the major themes for the energy for this week, it would be action. But it's a little more nuanced than that. It's not just action, just to take action. It involves a little more. And of course, the universe is ready to hold your hand, ready to give you all the information that you need to take the right action in the right direction. All right. But before we get into all of the details of the astrology for the week, of course, housekeeping and announcements. So, if you are joining me here on the live this evening, thank you so much for tuning in. I sincerely appreciate you. Please hit that like button on your way in. It's the best way to support the channel. It lets the algorithm know that you like this content, so it will disseminate it to others who may like it as well. All right. And if you are joining me on the replay, I appreciate you just as much. Hopefully, you found what you're looking for with this broadcast, whether it is information, insight, enlightenment, clarity, confirmation. If you find it here, and I hope that you do, hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell, please. And thank you. All right. So we are still well underway with our 31-day money and astrology series here on the channel. I hope that you guys are really enjoying it. I hope that you guys are finding it informative. It's interesting. I've been studying astrology for the better part of a decade, a little over a decade, actually. And so everything that I'm teaching has sort of become like second nature to me. But it wasn't until yesterday that I really sat down and I thought about how I've been giving you a lot of information and I'm hopefully showing up on your feed every single day. And so I don't want you to think that you need to digest it all at once because it is a lot. The one thing you learn about astrology is that it is sort of a never-ending rabbit hole of information, of discovery, and of enlightenment. It's not like everything else in society that's like, okay, all these little digestible bites that sort of have no cohesion, right? It's a whole discipline. It's a whole breadth of knowledge and of information. And so the whole premise with this series is like, I want to give you the information. And so anytime you want to come back to it, it's literally right there in a playlist. And it's like a library, right? You go to the library and you see a whole section on money and astrology. That's what this playlist is for. So don't think you have to digest it in 31 days. Don't think that you have to do it all at once. It's just a repository of information for you to reference whenever you would like. But, you know, like I said, the energy right now is very conducive to sort of a clear trajectory, a clear plan, and action. And for me, that's definitely part of my plan and my action. All right. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that. Let's see what else. That is pretty much it. And of course, if you are wanting more, I'm talking about more information, if you want exclusive content, if you want community, if you just want more, then join us over in Cosmic Collective. That is my private online community where you have access to exclusive content. I go live there every week as well to discuss, at least at this point, every week I'm discussing, more money and astrology information and content, but in the future it'll be different topics. But I do go live there once a week on Fridays. And you have community of other like-minded people who want to learn more about astrology and want to commune with others who are doing the same. So if you're interested in that, link is in the description box below. It is $11 a month. You get a 2-week free trial. And yeah, so sign up sooner rather than later. All right. And so yeah, that is pretty much it by way of announcements and whatnot. So let's get into the details of everything for this week. So Scorpio season. And dare I say this, I'm a Virgo, so clearly I love Virgo season, but Scorpio season has really come to be or has become one of my favorite seasons, if not the favorite season. Now, I've been saying this for years. I will continue to say this for years, and I will never stop saying this. Every year in January, when everyone's like, New Year, new me, New Year's resolution, they want to turn the page, they want to do something different. It's the wrong time to do it. If you've been following me for any length of time, you'll know that one of the things I love about astrology is that it gives you like a guide to life in the sense that it tells you sort of what to be focusing on at what time. So, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, the best time to actually make them and take action on them is Scorpio season, because Scorpio is the sign of transformation. Scorpio season is like if you're saying, okay, I want to lose weight, Scorpio season is like, I bet. So, these are the things that we're going to stop doing. If you're like, "Ah, I want to rekindle this relationship, Scorpio season is like, all right, bet it's time for rebirth. That is the season of transformation. So that when you get to January, which is the dead of winter, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere, those changes that you made in Scorpio season actually stick. Because by that time, you will have had 60 plus days under your belt to kind of get it together. And one of the ruling planets of Scorpio is Mars. And as a matter of fact, Mars is sort of one of the major players of the astrology for this week. And Mars is all about action. Now, Mars and action is really, there's layers to it. Mars can be impulsive action, right? Because, Mars, especially as expressed by Aries, is like our animal instinct, like our basic instincts, right? So it's that impulsivity, that default action. Right? And then you have this creative energy of Mars. And when I say creative, I don't mean creative like in the sense of Venus, where creativity that's linked to like art and music and beauty. I mean, when I talk about creativity and creation with Mars, you're talking about initiation, like literally creating something, something that perhaps wasn't here before is now here. And the energy that it takes for that thing to now be here is the energy signature of Mars. That's the type of creation I'm talking about. And so when you think about it that way, when people say, okay, Mars equals action, now you have a little bit more of an understanding of what that action is. It is a creative action. It is an initiative, right? It's this initiation action, starting something. And the way that the energy is set up this week, particularly with how Mars is acting, it's not just about action for the sake of action. It's action that's really directed toward something. And also, what I love about Mars is that it is hyper focused. Mars, especially as expressed via Scorpio, because Mars is one of the ruling planets of Scorpio. Scorpio has a lot to do with obsession. So when you think about Mars as expressed through Scorpio, it's this hyperfixation on something. So when you're taking action, not only are you initiating something, you're engaging in creation, but you're hyper focused on it. So you're not scattered. You're not doing a million and one things. It's this hyper fixation, this laser like focus, maybe even just on one thing. And when you think about the whole New Year's resolution thing and this New Year, new me, it's like it really behooves you to really focus on just one thing. Because invariably, and I'm guilty of this as well, it's like January comes around and you want to change everything. It's like you want to overhaul your life. And if we're talking about the right time to make those changes, like I said, that would be Scorpio season. But the way that Scorpio does it, change is not just a mindset thing or I'm just going to affirm and change. Scorpio is like, "Oh no, I'm going to rip your soul from the I'm going to rip your soul and turn it inside out." And whatever is not necessary, whatever stands in the way of you achieving this one thing that you're like hyper fixated on, we're going to get rid of. And Scorpio does it in a way that's profound, but that can at best be uncomfortable and at worst be agonizing. And that pain, it's beautiful if you let it be, of course. Maybe not so beautiful in the moment, but it's alchemy. And when we're talking about making change and when we're talking about taking action, at this point in time, in this season, we're talking about alchemy. We're talking about taking something, we're taking shit and turning it into gold. And that's dirty work. The realm of Scorpio is dirty. It's so dirty. And I think that's why I love it so much because it's real change. It's lasting change. It's profound change. And so this is a great week to start thinking about that. The sun is now in Scorpio. We've got Mars doing some things this week. So I want you, and I think this would be a pretty good exercise. I want you to think, I mean, because we still operate under a Gregorian calendar, right? And so when January comes around, invariably, we do feel like making changes because that's sort of what we've been conditioned to do. So this week, I want you to think and feel like this week is January 1st, like it is a brand new year. What are you going to change? Think about that now. Start taking action on that now. Okay. And if you're ready to do that, I want you to put a thumbs up in the chat if you're here right now, or if you are in the comments, I want you to put a thumbs up emoji to let me know that you're not only listening, but you are ready to make some changes and take some action. It's one of those weeks. And you won't be sorry that you did because then by the time you get to January, it's like I said, it'll stick or it will have stuck by the time we get to January. And now you're starting off the new year right in the way that you would have wanted to anyway. It's very hard to start and change things during the dead of winter when the universe and the cosmos really has us focusing on something else, right? January 1st is Capricorn season. And Capricorn season is about discipline, it's about success. It's really about um it's really about doing the work repeatedly, consistently, committing to it. And it's easier to do that when you've started taking those actions now. So, start that. Okay? So, in that vein, let's talk about the energy of this week. And we're going to begin with the theme of plan and prosper. Those are, that's the energy that we're in when we're taking action this week. We're planning to prosper. We are, or we should be, I should say, diligent about success. Remember I said Mars is almost hyper fixated on something. You don't need to change everything all at once. I want you to pick one thing that you want to succeed at, that you want to be successful at, and start taking action. And taking action from a place of already knowing that you're going to succeed. I don't want you to hope, I want you to know. I don't want you to wish, I want you to embody. Let me not say I, the universe. Me too, but the universe. The universe wants you not to, oh, maybe. No, I got this. The one thing about Mars energy is confidence. So I want you to everything is sort of layered, right? So we're talking about Mars, we're talking about action. We're talking about creative action, meaning creating something, initiating something. We're talking about being hyper fixated, and we're also talking about confidence. So it's this threefold, this three-layered kind of energy that you are using to take action right now, or that you're tapping into when you're taking action this week. So it's not just because here's the one thing that I've realized over the last couple of days. Last couple of days have been really contemplative, and I've been thinking about a lot of different things. But one of the things I've been thinking about is how we are so conditioned to just do busy work, shit that doesn't move the needle, work for the sake of working, thinking we're doing something. It's like you're on a hamster wheel thinking that you're going someplace. And we're inundated with that kind of stuff. I forgot what I was watching a documentary the other day, and this person was talking about how, we live. I want you, especially if you are like an elder millennial, or maybe even older than that. Before we had all these things, right? Before you had a cell phone in your pocket, you had, or we had, the luxury of focusing on something. You were in school, you focus on what the teacher was saying, or maybe you didn't focus, maybe you were just daydreaming, or maybe you were talking to a friend, but you weren't inundated with notifications. You weren't inundated with distractions. You weren't inundated with vibration, noise, breaking news. Every single second of every single day, we are inundated with distractions. But there was a time when we were not, and we could literally just focus. And I say all this to say that this speaks to the hyperfixation that I was just talking about. The thing about Mars energy and acting pursuant to Mars energy is that Mars energy is very good at, if it's a distraction, if it pulls me away from the thing that I want, I don't engage in it. Because again, Mars is like hyper fixated. So that's going to be perhaps an undercurrent of the energy that you're going to have to contend with this week. And I use the word contend intentionally because Mars is the planet of war. It's the planet of combat. So it could feel almost like a battle of willpower, honestly, to quiet the distractions. Say no to the things that are not in alignment with what you're trying to do right now, right? But the minute that you do that, especially with the way that the astrology is set up this week, it'll really help facilitate that change. It can really be the catalyst to some change. Now, is it going to be easy? Probably not. The realm of Scorpio does not encompass ease. When we think of ease, we think of Venus. Venus wants the soft life. She wants peace. She wants harmony. She wants ease. Mars is like, I'm going to fight for my shit. Sometimes to get that ease, to get that peace of mind, you have to fight for it. You either have to set up boundaries. You have to say no. You got to tell people to take several seats. You got to tell people to get the fuck up out your face, right? In order to have peace, in order to have ease, right? This could also be something that you encounter this week as well, as you take action toward changing things. And I almost forgot. So I'm going to pull some cards and get a message for us for this week in terms of action and Mars and change and Scorpio. Let's pull 3 cards and see what the universe has to tell us. I was very much guided to do this today. So let's see what we got. Okay. First card, 7 of Cups. This could be lots of options or this could be confusion. And what was I just saying? It's like there's so many options, so many things to choose from, so many things that are valid and so many things that aren't, right? So it's up to you to discern of these 7 cups, which is your one cup? What is the one thing that you desire? What is the one thing that you want to focus on in a world that's handing you a million and one things all at once? Don't get confused by the noise. Don't get confused by the distractions. Don't get confused. Um, the phrase that's coming to mind is spoiled for choice, where you've got so many options that you end up choosing nothing, right? This is not the week for that. This is the week where the universe is like, I want you to be crystal clear and hyper focused. That is the word of the week. Hyper focused on what it is that you want to change. What do you want to create in your life? Mars energy can really be synonymous with like the Big Bang Theory, where out of darkness, everything is created in a big crash, a big explosion, right? That's what's going on this week. Point blank period. So don't get caught up in the distractions and the noise. Focus. Let's get another card. We've got several, but I'm only inclined to take one. Okay, we've got 10 of Cups. Emotional fulfillment. Now, this is very much in tarot. They say this is like the card of marriage, right? But it's complete emotional fulfillment and contentment. This is the success that you want to focus on. So, what is going to bring you that sense of fulfillment, that sense of emotional contentment? Completely, totally. What's that one thing that's going to make you feel like this new beginning, right? And I want you to, I'm going to get to this when I talk about the astrology, but this is one of those times when the way that Scorpio works, Scorpio is about profound and permanent change. This is a caterpillar to butterfly pipeline, right? So it really behooves you to want to change something drastic at this point in time. It's not just, okay, let me get a few more bucks this week or let me, I don't know, get an extra coffee. This is like, no, I'm going from single to married. I'm going from broke to wealthy. I'm going from uneducated to scholar. Like, I want you to think that when you think about this emotional contentment, this thing that you really want that's going to make you feel really good. Think big, essentially. Okay, one last card. Yes, we've got the Chariot. So it's about moving forward. There is movement this week. This is not the week to sit on your ass. This is not the week to be a wallflower. This is the week to take action. And because this is a major arcana, it's like the universe is pushing you to take action. I'm not going to say the universe is dragging you. All right. Thankfully, we are out of eclipse season. So that's not necessarily the case here. But the energy of movement is present. So are you going to move with it or are you going to get run over? Essentially, I would choose to move with it if I were you. Just saying, though. All right. So we're limiting distractions. We're thinking big and focusing on what would give us complete emotional fulfillment. And we are moving in the right direction. Let's see what we have at the bottom of the deck. We've got the Queen of Swords. And I love the Queen of Swords because she decrees things. She literally speaks things into existence. And that's also the energy of this week. And that's part of the energy of this week. And I'll get into that in a second. But decree it, say it, speak it, be it, act in accordance with it. And this is also what I mean by it's not just about taking action for the sake of taking action. This is, I'm saying it, I'm living it, I'm doing it. And essentially, that's what the universe is serving up this week. All right. So, again, the theme is plan and prosper. Plan being an operative part of that phrase. Again, you know, when we talk about taking action, when we talk about creation, we're not talking about a knee-jerk reaction. We're not talking about this impulsive thing. We're talking about planning. We're talking about an eye to the future. We're talking about, if I have to be honest, taking this seriously. Now, you may be saying, but Mel, I am taking it seriously. Well, the universe is going to ask you just how serious you are about this week. Because again, this isn't necessarily going to be the easiest thing, but if you are willing to take the action and be consistent with it, you're going to notice some really profound changes. All right, so let's get into the astrology and see exactly what the hell I'm even talking about anyway. So first, we've got Mars trine Jupiter. And I love this because this is essentially creating your own luck, creating your own abundant opportunities. Okay. It's sort of that right place at the right time kind of thing. And it's not happening by happenstance. A lot of people think that luck is so random. Oftentimes, it's really not. Oftentimes, it is an amalgamation of things you've already done. Now, when you're working in tandem with spirit, it's like, spirit in the universe, they'll meet you halfway. But when you do certain things, you create your own luck. And Mars trine Jupiter is literally just that. All right. So it's really, really, really important that you, first of all, when we talk about Mars trine Jupiter, we're talking about confidence and faith put together. I remember I said before, there's layers to this action, right? It's not just knee jerk. It's creative, it's hyper focused, it's also confident and faithful. I've learned from experience that you can take all the action that you want, but if you don't believe in what you're doing, you might as well not take any action at all. Faith is a very big component of a lot of things. And this week, with Mars trine Jupiter, faith in the outcome, faith in what you're doing, faith in the universe, it's a part of the action that you're taking. What's the phrase? A scared money don't make money, right? It's the same thing with the action that you're taking right now. If and I'm not saying you have to do things completely fearlessly, especially when we're talking about change. Like with the energy of Scorpio, it can be scary because you're encountering things that are difficult. You're encountering wounds, you're encountering trauma. Like it's not for the faint of heart by any means necessary. I'm not saying you can't white knuckle it, right? But what I am saying is like if you're going into it thinking you're gonna fail, if you just like, I'm doing this, but I don't think it's gonna work out, then don't fucking do it. Real talk. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Muster up the confidence first before you start doing the things, before you start taking action. Okay. It's where action meets opportunity. And this is what I love about Jupiter is like Jupiter, it can surprise you sometimes, the way that Jupiter works. So, as long as you are putting one foot in front of the other confidently, Jupiter is going to start opening doors. Jupiter is going to start clearing the way. Jupiter is going to enlarge your vantage point, enlarge your view. It's your confidence that's the key that's going to unlock these new doors. Okay. So move with confidence and also move intuitively. Um, yeah, Mars is actually in its home sign of Scorpio right now. So it is super potent. And with Jupiter in Cancer, it's like your intuition may be, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like your intuition is gonna be like a sonar almost. You know, not sonar. Is it sonar or echolocation that dolphins use? I don't know. This is just what I'm seeing in my mind's eye right now. And that communication is, yeah. You know what I'm trying to say. If you're used to me, you already know. But yeah, it's like that's what your intuition is doing. Your intuition is like sonar or like echolocation. You may not even be able to see yet what your intuition is guiding you toward, but take action steps toward it, especially this week. Especially this week. If your intuition is telling you to do something, please do it. Please do it. Or conversely, if your intuition is telling you not to do something, please don't do it. Don't do it. Your intuition is going to be a major player when it comes to Mars trine Jupiter. Okay. And so with that, it's like Jupiter is in its sign of exaltation, Mars is in its home sign, meaning that with both planets comfortably situated, Jupiter is not even comfortably situated, Jupiter is being elevated. You can literally create your own luck this week. Literally. But you do have to be a little brave, you do have to be a little fearless, and you do have to have faith. So those things together will ensure change of a profound nature. Okay? So that's that. So now, next we have Mercury entering Sagittarius. And this is very much the plan part of plan and prosper. I love Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury in Sagittarius gets you to see the bigger picture. It gets you to broaden your mind. It gets you thirsty for knowledge and thirsty to experience different things. And that goes hand in hand with this energy of Scorpio season, right? Because if we're talking about transformation, clearly we're talking about experiencing different things. And Mercury in Sagittarius has our minds primed for that. And Mercury in Sagittarius is a great time to have big plans. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is not only trine Mars, like I just talked about before, but Jupiter is also in its sign of exaltation, which is in Cancer. So thinking big, like really big, and optimistically is how you want to tackle planning at this time. This isn't necessarily the time to be, I'm not going to say it's not the time to be detail oriented. You don't want to be reckless or overlook anything important, but you don't want to get bogged down by the details either. You want to think expansively. You want to think of things exponentially. And you want to be slightly delusional about it. Slightly. Okay. You want to, um, how would I say this? You want to stretch your mind. That's what I want to say. You want to stretch your mind. You want to think of things that scare you a little bit. Although Sagittarius, I wouldn't say is a sign of like scaring you, but you want to think of something, you want to plan for something that perhaps seems slightly out of your reach. You want to go beyond your comfort zone. You want to indulge in that dream that you labeled as just a fantasy or something that wasn't necessarily real. This is the week to plan for it. And what I love about Mercury and Sagittarius is Sagittarius on its own can be sort of like a helium balloon, very hard to keep down. It's very ungrounded. It can be very space cadet kind of energy. Mercury gives it, Mercury and Sagittarius gives that helium balloon a little logic. It gives it a little groundedness. And how this would work practically is I don't want you to limit your dream. I want you to expand your mind to think about how that dream can become a reality. Okay? So essentially, Mercury and Sagittarius is like, I want you to dream big and I want you to reverse engineer that dream so that it makes sense to you. Don't make it smaller to fit your logic. Expand your logic to make the dream make sense. So let's say you are someone who would like to go to medical school, yet you haven't finished undergrad. Part of the planning when we talk about Mercury and Sagittarius is visualization. Now, visualization is great. I think that daydreaming should be a part of your daily routine every single day. But the problem with daydreaming is that it could really stay up here, right? And especially when you're visualizing and you're thinking about it as being up here, that's where it stays. Mercury and Sagittarius is like, okay, let's reverse engineer that. Okay, so I want to become a doctor. I will need to go to medical school. Before I go to medical school, I would have to take, the medical school entrance exam, whatever that's called. I forgot what it's called. Before that, I would have to finish my college courses. So, research how you can finish your college courses. Research, okay, I have this many credits. Do they transfer to this school? Like, Mercury is going to have you looking at some of the details to facilitate this larger dream that maybe you think is unattainable. Okay. So don't shy away from that thing that seems grandiose. You know, you want to be married with 4 kids, yet you haven't dated in 10 years. Doesn't matter. Think big. Don't limit your dreams to fit your logic. Expand your logic to make your dreams make sense. Okay. So, this is the vision that you want to keep in mind when taking action this week. Remember, I said, oh, where did I put it? What is this? This thing that would give you complete emotional fulfillment. This is Mercury in Sagittarius. This is the big picture and planning for it. You'll see, it looks like a man and a woman, they're embracing, there's 2 kids, there's a house, everybody's happy, they're howling at the moon or whatever it is. This is my Halloween tarot, which I really like. Um, this is the dream. This is the plan. So, dream big and expand your logic to make it make sense. All right? And then finally, we've got Mars trine Saturn. Now, this is one of those transits. When you put Mars and Saturn together, it can be not so positive. Let's just say that. It could be harsh. It could be difficult. When you put them together in a trine, this is momentum. This is where consistency meets commitment. This is where action yields tangible results. And it's going to require some consistency. Here's the thing, Mars likes to take action, but not always for an extended period of time. Because Mars can be impulsive, Mars will want to take action when things feel good. When we've got this in our minds and when we have our emotions sort of feeding into this dream, it's really easy to take action because you're motivated. The beauty of Mars trine Saturn is that it gives that moment of momentum longevity. And this is what is key when we're talking about making change during Scorpio season and transforming. Scorpio season, by and large, is not comfortable. And so when you're talking about taking action, it may be one of those situations where you feel motivated today, so you do something, but tomorrow things get kind of tough. So you're just like, I'll skip it. Saturn is going to be like, nope, get up. Nope, keep going. Saturn's like that drill sergeant. Saturn's like that personal trainer that calls you at 5 a.m. and is talking about, get up, it's time to go. But I don't want to. Oh, well, I guess you don't want that summer body then, right? Saturn takes you to task. And we need that here. Because again, if there's nothing else that you get from tonight's broadcast, understand this. The actions that we're taking right now, the changes that we're making, are of a profound and permanent nature. That's how Scorpio rolls. Scorpio isn't, let's change today and then maybe not tomorrow. Scorpio's not like Libra, and it's no shade to Libra. Libra's like cutesy and peace and harmony. Scorpio's like, all right, we're rolling up our sleeves and we're about to do some real work. Okay. And Mars trine Saturn is going to help facilitate that. Saturn takes you to task, but Saturn always challenges you to keep the finish line in mind. We're already thinking big with Mercury and Sagittarius, right? But this is like thinking of the vision. Saturn is like, okay, we're doing the work to facilitate that vision. So, the one thing that's coming to mind right now is the word stamina. For some, before you do anything, you need to rest and you need to build up your energy. Mars energy can run you ragged if you don't have the correct power reserves. And the last thing that you want to do when you're starting out is to start out tired. That's the quickest way to lose momentum. It's the quickest way to lose motivation. So, your assignment, your mission this week, if you choose to accept it, you're picking one goal, one resolution. This is our New Year's, okay? Specifically this week. I want you to pick one goal that you want to accomplish. Think big, think bold. This is like your big bang moment, right? And at least between today and tomorrow, I want you to rest. I want you to prioritize rest. I want you to eat well. And I want you to limit distractions. Because again, there's nothing worse than, you know, I don't know about you guys, but me, if I have like a shit ton of things to do and I feel overwhelmed or I'm tired, I will just continue, like, I just won't do anything. Like, it's the fastest way for me to lose motivation and to lose momentum. So, part of that planning part of Plan and Prosper is resting. And remember, resting is an action. It's an action that society wants to make you feel ain't worth shit, but you're going to feel much better taking action from a place of restoration than from a place of raggedness. Okay. So build up that stamina first. Eat well, rest, and clear your mind. Remember, I said before, Mars is hyper fixated. You need to clear out all the shit that is not the thing that you want to work on right now. And yes, it's going to require you to say no to some people. It's going to require you to maybe change your schedule around. It's going to require some change. But again, that's how Scorpio rolls. So doing that will be extremely helpful as we start making these changes. Okay. And this is what also ensures that you're taking like the right action. Again, you don't want to just be doing shit just to do it. You have a goal, you have a dream, you have something that you want to succeed at. Make sure that there's purpose and intention behind it. Make sure that you're putting forth all of your energy into this thing because that's the realm of Mars. Mars represents like physical force, physical energy. You can't you can't power a car without any fuel or without any battery, right? Those have to be charged, whether you have an electric vehicle or you have, a gas vehicle. It needs to be full, needs to be charged. So do you. So do that. Be intentional about this. Again, this is like our own first week of the new year. Like, you know how I can't tell you how many years where I would like get new gym clothes, get a new water bottle or some other shit like that to start to start something new, right? Those things matter too, but what you need right now is the energy, the stamina. So do what you need to do to have those things, okay? So that's your assignment for this week. And I definitely expect to hear back from you guys. So by the time I come back next week, next week's live, I want to see some comments. I want to see some whatever. If you got to send me an email, talk to me about how you're doing with this, or if you're doing this, and this is also a perfectly good thing. Maybe this isn't the right time for you to do this at all. Maybe you don't have the energy, or maybe you're not clear. The one thing about this is that it's not just about, oh, maybe I'll do this. No, this is about clarity and energy. If you don't have those two things, it is okay to sit this out. It is. I don't want you to think that you have to force yourself. The energy is here. It's like remember, we all have free will. The energy is here, but it's up to you if you want to tap into it. But if you're going to tap into it, then you need to tap the fuck into it. Okay? It's intentional. It's full of energy. It's success minded. And if you don't have that, if you don't have that to give right now, because I understand that it's a dumpster fire out there, real talk. And maybe you just don't have it in you right now. It's okay. It is okay to sit this out. It is okay to just be wherever you're at right now. That's perfectly fine too. But if you're about that life right now, this is the week where you gotta get to it. You won't be sorry that you did. All right. All right, all right, all right. So now we get to our portion of the broadcast that I like to call the Creator's Compass, where it's basically your weekly strategy based on the astrology. So, on the one hand, I will talk about business and creativity. The other hand, I will talk about personal development. So, first, when it comes to business and creativity, so with Mars trine Jupiter, pitch, promote, or pursue a bold opportunity. Remember, Mars trine Jupiter is about creating your own luck. And with Mars being action, Mars is also the planet of risk. It's risk taking. Mars is the planet of shooting your shot. And so perhaps some of the actions that you are guided to take, because remember, both Mars and Jupiter are in water signs. Jupiter is in Cancer, Mars is in Scorpio. The actions that you are guided to take. You may be guided to shoot your shot. You may be guided to speak to someone, to start something, start a group, whatever it is, pursue a bold opportunity. Okay. Next, Mercury and Sagittarius. Share your big picture message. Okay. So teach, talk, or market. So when I think about Mercury and Sagittarius, I think about those people in New York City who just stand on the corner and they're like preaching, right? Like the Black Israelites, for instance. You're on your soapbox. You are disseminating, you're teaching, you are publishing, even. And this could really speak to some of the action that you take as well. So maybe one of your goals is business related, right? Maybe you are furthering a business, starting a business. Maybe you've got a new offer that you want to put out there. Maybe you just want to put yourself out there more. Maybe you want to start a personal brand. Mercury and Sagittarius rules publishing. I'm talking about like physically, like on the internet, YouTube, a blog, Substack, Medium, whatever it is, like you may want to do that this week if you are guided to. Okay. So talk about it. Talk about what you're doing. Talk about your goals. Do all of that. And then finally with Mars trine Saturn, finalize systems, plan your next 30 days, and pace your progress. Pace being the operative word. Remember, Mars wants to do things in the moment. Saturn is what gives it longevity. So pace yourself. This is a marathon, not a sprint. When we're talking about Scorpio energy, that caterpillar to butterfly pipeline takes some time. It's not a boom, it happened in one shot. It's a process. So be willing to commit to the process. And when you think about anything that you've worked really hard to achieve, you'll understand that there are times when you know what I'm seeing right now? Like a heart monitor and how the heartbeats go up and down and up and down. Whenever you have the longevity of a process, you have up and down points. But then you have these points where it's just it's just you're in the routine of doing the thing, right? It's not a high, it's not a low, it's just you're kind of just doing the thing, right? So Saturn regulates that. Saturn keeps that energy going long term, all right? And tracking and accountability are going to be your friends. I mean, this is very much akin to what we all do in January, right? We either get an accountability partner, we start weighing ourselves, we start budgeting, whatever it is that we want to change. It's like We create things to keep us accountable. And that's exactly what you want to do now, too. The thing about Saturn is that Saturn wants to track things so that it can see success. Saturn is a very earthy, a very tangible, real energy kind of planet. So it wants tangible results. It wants numbers. It wants you weighing in every week. It wants you budgeting every 2 weeks, right? Like it wants to do those things. So implementing that into the actions that you are taking is going to be super important. Okay. So that's the business and creative side. Now let's talk about personal development with respect to the astrology for this week. So be confident and consistent. Confidence is going to be key. This is what I said before. You're not just taking action like, oh, I hope, oh, I don't know. It's not to say that you're not always going to feel 100% confident, right? But don't go into this thinking that maybe or it would be nice or I would like. No, this is my shit. This is me now. I do this now, right? That's the kind of confidence that Mars wants you to have. Now, no shade to any of our male watchers, but men are great at having confidence sometimes, even when they are mediocre as fuck, right? They will walk into a room and own it, even though they don't know their ass from their elbow, and they will act the part. We all know at least one man like this, right? That's the kind of confidence you want to have. Okay. And again, no shade to our male watchers. I love y'all, okay? But we got to call a spade a spade. A lot of y'all have confidence when as women we would be like, "How? How sway? How?" Right? But in any event, be confident and consistent, okay? Don't rush your next chapter, create it. I'm going to repeat that again. Don't rush your next chapter, create it. What did I say from the outset? That Mars energy is creation energy. Don't wait for shit to happen. Don't rush into things haphazardly. Create it. What was the card? The Queen of Swords, right? I said she decrees things. She speaks things into existence. She's not waiting to see what the next chapter is going to be. She writes it. And you should do the same. And that's where planning comes in. Now, oftentimes we make plans, God laughs, right? But when you are in alignment, God ain't laughing. God is like, oh, yes, let's go, right? So plan, plan that next chapter. This is the confidence I'm talking about. We're not leaving it up to chance. We're not like, oh, this is what the circumstance may be. No, this is what it is because I am creating it. Point blank, period. And then finally, channel your fire through focus, that hyperfixation I was talking about. This is why, if you can, to the extent that you can, and you want to start making changes right now, take the first couple of days of this week and rest. It's like you need to recharge your physical vessel. It's like the battery of your physical vessel needs to be on 100% when you are taking this action. And then when it is, take all of that energy and focus it on one thing. Just one. Just one. And oftentimes, when you do that, it has a ripple effect. Because we're so conditioned to overwork, we think that we have to do the most to change we got to change everything and we micromanage everything. When you focus your energy on one thing, that positive change ripples into everything else. So just focus on the one and it'll change everything. All right. So now we get to the point of the broadcast I like to call the altar call. right? And this is where we have our journal prompts and we have our affirmation for the week. So, our journal prompt is, where am I ready to take consistent, confident action toward prosperity? This, I want you to screenshot this. I want you to come back to it. This is asking you, what's the one thing that you want to focus on? What is where did it go? Oops. What is the this for you? This 10 of cups. What is this for you? Where are you ready to take action toward this consistently and successfully? So again, the question that you want to ask yourself this week, perhaps while you're resting, where am I ready to take consistent, confident action toward prosperity? All right. And our affirmation for the week is, my plans are blessed, my actions are aligned, and my success is inevitable. Inevitable. You can't escape it. Okay, my plans are blessed, my actions are aligned, and my success is inevitable. It's as simple as that. All right, my love. So that's pretty much all I've got for you for this week's weekly astro forecast. I sincerely hope that you were able to get at least one important piece of information that you can use going into this week and beyond. And I'm not kidding. I want to hear from y'all next week. I want to hear if you started taking action, if you're not there yet, if you need a little more rest. I expect you to be back here next week to let me know how it's going, because I will let you know how it's going, most definitely. All right, my loves, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you an absolutely amazing week, and I'll see you next week, same time, same place, same great astrological information. All right, my loves, take care.